The story opens up in Cape Town, South Africa, where Matt Weston, a junior CIA officer, is stuck in a job that's all routine and no action. He's a housekeeper, which basically means he manages a secret CIA safe house that's barely seen any use. His girlfriend Anna, a French medical student, thinks he works at a clinic. She doesn't know the truth about his real job. Matt's feeling frustrated. After a year without any field work, he calls his boss, David Barlow, hoping to get a transfer to Paris. That's where Anna's moving for her residency, and Matt wants to be there with her. But David tells him he doesn't have the experience yet and needs to wait a few more months. Matt pushes him to reconsider, and David agrees to bring it up again later, but he doesn't promise anything. At the same time, across the city, Tobin Frost, a former top CIA operative turned international fugitive, meets with Alec Wade, a rogue MI6 agent. Alec hands him a small data device loaded with classified intel that could expose serious secrets. He warns Frost that carrying this kind of information will attract dangerous attention. Frost doesn't flinch. With no time to waste, he hides the device in the only place he knows it'll be safe, for now. Just as expected, a group of armed mercenaries shows up, but Frost isn't easy to catch. He fights back hard. During the chaos, he quickly changes clothes with a bystander, throwing off his pursuers. A sniper takes a shot, thinking they've got him, only to realize it was a decoy. Frost and Alec jump into a car and try to escape, but the mercenaries are right behind them. They're relentless. The chase ends with Alec shot dead and the car crashing into traffic. Somehow, Frost makes it out alive. He darts through a crowded protest and disappears into the chaos. But the mercenaries don't give up. They track him down and close in fast. With no other choice, Frost rushes into the US consulate and identifies himself as a rogue CIA agent. The moment he does, everything shifts into high alert.
Lock down the consulate.
Back in Langley, CIA officials, including Deputy Director Harlan Whitford, get the news. Frost has been off the grid, selling secrets, and is wanted for espionage across multiple continents. He's now back in US custody, and they plan to interrogate him at a safe house in Johannesburg. Meanwhile, Matt Weston gets a call. It's finally happening. His safe house is about to be used. He's told to prepare for a high-level transfer and an interrogation. He calls Anna to cancel their plans, sticking to his cover story about the clinic. Later that night, a team arrives, led by a seasoned agent named Daniel Kiefer. With them is Tobin Frost, ready to be questioned. Frost doesn't say a word during the interrogation. No matter how hard they press, he stays silent. But before they can try another round, the safe house is hit. Those same mercenaries from before storm in without warning. Daniel's team fights back hard, but they're outnumbered and outgunned. One by one, they fall until only Weston is left. With no time to think, he makes a bold move. He cuffs Frost and throws him in the trunk of a car, then speeds off, dodging bullets on the way out. As the chase kicks off, Weston calls the agency and reports everything: the ambush, the deaths, and that he's now on the run with Frost. They're shocked and immediately order him not to take Frost to the consulate. Instead, they tell him to keep his distance and wait for instructions. Weston shakes off the mercenaries in a tense chase, but the moment things calm down, Frost breaks out of the trunk. The two get into a fight that ends with the car crashing off the road. Weston, bruised but still standing, pulls himself from the wreck and aims his gun at Frost to keep control. Meanwhile, back in Langley, Whitford takes charge and orders a tactical team to fly to South Africa and recover both men. But David points out the problem. It's going to take 18 hours for that team to arrive. Until then, Weston is on his own. While Weston drives Frost to a new hiding spot, the conversation takes a serious turn. Frost admits he used to work for the CIA too, and then says something that shakes Weston. He believes someone from inside the agency helped attack the safe house. Weston starts wondering if he's being set up. Frost keeps going. He warns Weston not to trust the CIA because they'll leave him behind when things go south. Meanwhile, back at CIA headquarters, Whitford also suspects a mole. He wants every bit of information on agents linked to Frost's case. Later, Weston and Frost check into a hotel. Weston quickly calls Anna and tells her to leave their apartment, saying it's going to be under surveillance. But Frost listens in and uses the chance to give some advice. He tells Weston that hiding things from people you love will only end badly. Weston doesn't agree and says he's not like Frost. His life won't end up the same way. Soon, Weston gets a call from David. Help won't be arriving anytime soon. Instead, Weston is told to go to a stadium, collect a GPS device from a hidden bag, and follow it to a new safe house in another country. Weston takes Frost with him to the stadium, but as soon as he grabs the GPS, Frost makes a scene and starts shouting that he's being kidnapped. Local police step in and detain Weston. He tries to explain that he's on a mission and Frost is a dangerous fugitive, but no one believes him. Weston escapes custody and chases after Frost. Just when he catches up, a security guard tries to stop him. In the chaos, Weston shoots the guard and keeps running, but he walks right into a trap. Frost could have killed him, but he doesn't. Instead, he walks away, saying he only goes after trained agents, not rookies like Weston. Ouch, that must have hurt him. With Frost gone and things getting out of control, Weston calls the agency from a phone booth and reports the stadium incident. Whitford tells him to stand down. The CIA will take it from here. Feeling helpless and boxed in, Weston rushes to a train station to meet Anna before she leaves for Paris. This time, he tells her the truth. He's not a clinic worker. He's with the CIA. Anna's shocked and hurt, angry at the lies he's been telling. Weston begs her to leave for her own safety, and once she boards the train, he heads to an internet cafe. There, Weston uses the CIA system to try and locate Frost, but the agency is watching. Whitford sees the breach and sends David and Linklater to South Africa with orders to capture Frost immediately. Meanwhile, Frost visits an old friend named Carlos in Langa. They don't waste time catching up. On the drive, Frost starts talking about highly classified secrets the agency has been hiding. Carlos, who's skilled at forging documents, helps him get a fresh passport and a new identity. He warns Frost to quit the spy business before it's too late. Frost doesn't take the advice seriously. He believes he still has control over everything. But trouble finds them fast. The mercenaries storm Carlos's house, shooting their way in. Weston finally traces Frost's location right as everything goes sideways. Carlos's family gets caught in the crossfire, and Carlos himself is killed. Frost escapes across the rooftops with gunmen right behind him. Just when things seem hopeless, Weston arrives in a truck and pulls Frost out of danger, but the mercs catch up quickly and damage the vehicle, forcing both men to flee on foot. They may not trust each other, but for now, they've got no choice but to work together. Weston and Frost manage to duck into an empty building, trying to catch their breath. They set a trap and take out one of the mercenaries chasing them, but Frost ends up getting shot in the process. Adrenaline surging, Weston interrogates the wounded man and learns something big. The mercenaries work for a man named Vargas, who's secretly working with the CIA. Their real goal is to get their hands on a device Frost is carrying. While this unfolds, David and Linklater arrive in South Africa and split up to widen their search. Weston, now responsible for a wounded man, takes Frost to a nearby pharmacy to patch him up. As Weston treats the injury, Frost starts talking. He tells a story from his past about being forced to kill an innocent man, an air traffic controller, during a mission. He warns Weston never to cross that line. Elsewhere, Linklater starts to get suspicious. She thinks Weston might be helping Frost, but David doesn't agree. He trusts Weston and believes that if Weston really had gone rogue, he would have already taken Frost to a safe house. Weston, listening in on their communication, decides to go to the safe house after all. When they arrive, he confronts the caretaker Keller and demands he call the agency and report that Frost is there. Meanwhile, Linklater and David regroup at the old safe house. During their conversation, Linklater reveals that Frost has a file filled with sensitive information, details files that could bring down major agencies. David realizes she knows too much. Without hesitation, he pulls out his gun and kills her. Back at the safe house, Weston and Keller are talking about their duties when Keller suddenly turns on him. A brutal fight breaks out. Keller stabs Weston, but Weston fights back hard and takes him down. Wounded and losing strength, Weston crawls over to Frost and asks him what's really in the file. Frost finally opens up. The device holds proof of deep corruption across several intelligence agencies. Hearing this, Weston unlocks Frost's cuffs, seemingly trusting him, but instead of sticking around, Frost walks out, leaving Weston bleeding and unconscious. Weston wakes up to find David standing over him. That's when it all clicks. David's been working with Vargas the whole time. David doesn't bother hiding it anymore. He admits the file contains damaging secrets about powerful people, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to keep it buried. He tells Weston to lie about everything that happened and promises he'll be protected if he plays along. Before Weston can respond, Frost storms back in. He quickly takes down Vargas's men, but he doesn't make it out unscathed. David shoots him. Weston, still clinging to life, grabs his gun and shoots David before he can do any more harm. He then drags himself over to Frost. Frost is barely holding on. He hands Weston the drive and tells him to make better choices than he did. He urges him to do the right thing. Moments later, Frost dies, leaving Weston shaken and alone. Back at CIA headquarters, Weston returns to debrief with Whitford. He explains what happened in South Africa, but Whitford pressures him to cover up the real story. He makes it clear that the agency doesn't want any scandals. He even asks Weston directly if Frost gave him a file. Weston keeps a straight face and denies it. Whitford warns him how dangerous it would be to hold on to that kind of evidence. But Weston isn't backing down. He leaves the office with the file still in his possession. Outside the agency, Weston makes a bold choice. He uploads the contents of the file, making everything public: the corruption, the lies, and the people involved. The truth is out, and there's no taking it back. Later, Weston travels to Paris. He spots Anna in the distance, safe and unaware of everything he went through. He doesn't approach her, just watches with a quiet smile, relieved that she's okay. Well, that's the end of this recap. If you enjoyed this movie, consider subscribing for more interesting stories. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.